But first, news of DeafFest 92, plus a full entertainment guide in this week's Sign On at Leisure.
Hello, and welcome back to Sign On at Leisure. In today's programme we have an on-location report of a film being made about a deaf woman's experiences in the hearing world. And Claire McCann will bring us up to date on what's been happening in the world of theatre, as well as what's on at the moment.
Hi, you might have seen in our BDN supplement for September that NEMTC, the North East Media Training Centre in Gateshead, won the 1992 Paddy Wannell Award from the British Film Institute. The award was for training 6 deaf students in film and TV production. And yes, you've guessed it, they became our very own successful Deaf Owl team. To find out if there is going to be more training for deaf people in TV production, we invited NEMTC's head of training, Ian MacDonald, into the studio. Welcome, Ian, and congratulations.
Hi, thank you.
Were you surprised at winning the award?
Well, not really. I mean, I think it's really great that the work that NEMTC have done with the support of Channel 4 and Tyne Tees and Tyneside Training and Enterprise Council has actually now got official recognition from a body as respected as the British Film Institute.
What are your plans for running future courses?
Well, we've just managed to get the funds together for a course to start in January '93, so we're now looking for students. If anybody wants to contact me at NEMTC, Stonehill Studios, Gateshead, I'd be very pleased to hear from them.
What experience does a deaf person need to be accepted onto the course?
Well, we'd be looking for anybody who could show us evidence of their own creativity, something like photographs or scripts or stories, or if they've worked with video equipment before, perhaps.
How do you feel about Deaf Owl's progress since leaving the NEMTC course?
Well, we thought we got rid of them, actually, but they do keep coming back to NEMTC. I'm very pleased with the way that they have worked after they've left us. They've come to Tyne Tees, they've done a lot of things here, and they've done other work as well, so they're still going strong. Good luck to them.
Thank you.
Since that name Deaf Owl keeps cropping up, it's time we showed some more of their work. In this poem by Paul Scott, he expresses the pain of deaf community life.
When young deaf children first start school, they're like table tennis balls, easily crushed. Some are destroyed by the system. Those that remain must face the teachers. Do you remember? They smash those table tennis balls from floor to ceiling, wall to wall. The children are bullied and harried. Come on, come on. No, I don't want to go to school. The status quo changes. It's table tennis versus tennis. And knockabout. Now the teachers are on the defence against the children's enthusiasm for their newfound signing. Game on. Now the teachers are getting tougher. They're into football. The children move on from table tennis to tennis. But it's no defence. The football pounds the tennis ball, it's relentless. Lip read, come on. There's no defence. Except familiarity. In time, the odds are evened. Now both teams are playing football. All eyes on the second half. The teachers change to rugby balls as the football lobby strengthens. You must lip read. Watch me. Use English. But it's no use. A football can easily knock a rugby ball off its axis. The battle continues. The footballers' numbers swell. The teachers are really in trouble now. Down they go. And again they're brought down. And again. This is going to be fun. At 16 years of age, the final whistle blows. And you're free. The rugby ball spins off into the distance, slowly to deflate with age. Now those young people can say, "Don't tackle me if you can't take the rebound." Well, I can sympathise with some of those emotions. A lot of us know how it feels, and I know it's important for us in the deaf community to share that with each other. But how do we get across how we feel to hearing people? Recently, we heard of a film being made in which a hearing and a deaf person collaborated in developing a script on what it's like to be deaf in a hearing world. Rachel Bastikar went to watch them work on location and find out more. We're here at Newcastle Central Station, on location with the film crew making Journey Through Sound. The script was written by a hearing person, Carolyn Reid, and is performed by deaf actress Julie Story. Filming is taking place in various locations throughout Newcastle, and it's taken them over 2.5 years to secure the funding to actually make this film.
My name is Carolyn Reid, and we're filming in Central Station today for a film called Journey Through Sound, which is the experiences of a deaf woman called Julie Story. It's based on her true experiences, although the film is a drama, but most of the stuff that she's actually performing has happened to her in real life. On talking with Julie at great length, I thought that nobody had really done anything about what sound means to a deaf person, because everybody always assumes that sound means nothing to a deaf person because they're deaf, whereas in fact it can be very alienating and intimidating. Obviously I'm trying to get the message across to a hearing audience that the wearing of hearing aids is not necessarily going to make a deaf person hear the same as we do, and also to try and make an awareness for people who aren't in the know about sign language and the importance of sign language. There's a lot of flashbacks in the film to Julie's childhood, which when she was at school she wasn't allowed to sign, and there's quite a lot of distressing scenes around the use of sign language, just to try and make people more aware basically, and that's for a hearing audience because deaf audience is aware, but as much as possible the film will be totally accessible for deaf people.
Well, when I watched the first day of filming with young Nicola, who plays the part of me as a child, I thought I'd be fine. I felt really positive. But when she did one of the flashbacks, it really hit me. I got really emotional, and I did cry, because it's about my life, I suppose. But the crew were all choked up too, and it never even happened to them. They've all been very supportive.
So you're going to have to get there tonight, get to the powerhouse tonight, right? And you're going to have to be there probably from about 5 o'clock onwards for rehearsals. Is that okay?
Yeah.
imagine that, yeah. So I just got to accept that. I hope we'll be able to cool down a bit anyway.
Yes, I am the only deaf actress in an all-hearing crew. That has its ups and downs. But some of the crew have learnt a lot of basic sign language just by working with me. They've been filming for over an hour now to get just one scene. It's very difficult because the actress's timing has to be perfectly synchronized. So they have to rehearse the actresses and do a walkthrough before they can film them. Their budget is very tight and they're having to use whatever resources they find around them. So they've asked me to do a walk-on part.
Obviously, even hard work has its funny moments. Maybe our producer will show you some of our funny outtakes at the end of the series. I hope not. That film will be shown on Channel 4 next year. We'll let you know when we know the date. But for now, here's Claire McCann to tell you what she's found out about what's on at the moment.
I'd like to say there's a lot of deaf theatre going on, but unfortunately there's not enough. Last month, though, the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield organised a Deaf Fest 92 week. This was coordinated by deaf project worker Iona Fletcher. So I went along to find out what she did and what it was all about. Sign.
You're standing! No signing!
Like that, use your arm. They're hurting, that's better.
No signing!
Good.
So that's before Thursday?
How did you get this job at the Crucible? How? Well, what happened was the Maud Maxfield Service for Deaf Education wanted to celebrate their 70th anniversary, so they contacted the Crucible Theatre and asked if they'd like to stage any deaf art. They were put in touch with Peter Shepherd, the youth theatre director, who didn't know anything about deaf arts and theatre. So he went along to the Theatre for the Deaf course at Reading University. They contacted me because I'm from Sheffield, I'm deaf, and I'm involved in the arts. All three criteria. I asked the Crucible to contact me and then I started work here. Has it been difficult to organise everything? Yes, definitely. I'm the only deaf person in the whole of the Crucible Theatre. I've had a lot to do. Initially, first thing, I had to teach deaf awareness. So the deaf awareness came first before I could concentrate on the arts side second. So yes, it's been a lot of hard work over a long period. I've had a 6-month contract, and the culmination of that is this week-long festival. Why do you think theatre is important to the deaf community? Well, I think it's important because deaf people must have access to the arts, not only via interpreters. They should be able to see role models. Deaf children should be able to see actors and actresses who are deaf themselves. It'll encourage them to get involved. Plus, it should be entertainment for them as well. Well, token gestures have aimed at 3 to 6 year olds, so language is not really required because they're aiming for something visual. But there should be some signing involved, some. There's also an interpreter, but it's not really necessary because it'll be visual enough in itself. Red Ladder will have like a deaf actress signing and like an interpreter in the show. Theatre Centre's Tower Without Stairs will have signing, some BSL, some gestures, some interpretation, a mixture. And Sonic Boom will have some sign on its own, some voice on its own, and sometimes a combination of the two. But really they're kept separate, that's all.
My name's Jo Berent, and I'm the Artistic Director of Token Gestures Theatre Company. And we're here with a show called Why Are You Shouting at Me? For 3 to 6 year olds. I think it's important for our company for a number of reasons. When the company started, it was started by a teacher of the deaf and myself, and I'm partially deaf, and so there was obviously a personal interest there. Also, we work with a lot of children who don't have English as a first language in Bradford itself, so for us it's important the piece is visually clear first and then uses words very much as a secondary means of communication.
My name is Jenny Seeley. Working at the moment for Red Ladder Theatre Company, which is based in Leeds. All women, and play called Court, meaning pregnant. It's about a young woman, 50, gets pregnant, and how she copes with her situation, and how her friends gossip about her, and basically how she deals with having a baby so young. Well, this Deaf Fest is very positive. First time something's actually been called Deaf Festival, and interesting thing with youth theatre about being deaf in a hearing world. Brilliant.
Interesting to see so much accessible theatre for deaf people. Over the week of the festival, some shows played to packed houses, others to a poor turnout. But overall, Deaf Fest 92 was a success. We hope it'll return next year. Now a look at what's happening in theatre all over Great Britain. You now have the opportunity to see Hansel and Gretel and other stories performed for both deaf and hearing children, using dance, mime, music and sign by Dance for Everyone, with deaf actor Issy Schlisselman. These well-known stories are performed by space travellers on Yarn's World. That's at the Old Bull Arts Centre, Barnet, in London, on Sunday, November the 15th at 3 p.m. Although there's little deaf theatre, there are plenty of interpreted performances. Grey Eye, the leading professional theatre company of disabled actors and actresses, founded in 1980, is on tour with A Kind of Immigrant. It's an interesting and amusing story of a man's sexual awakening, describing his journey and revealing things of which he had only previously dreamed. There are plenty of interpreted performances all round the country, so don't miss it. Watch out for details in our diary. On tour from the Royal Shakespeare Company, the RSC, is The Comedy of Errors, a Shakespearean farce involving two sets of twins, one of each pair, who are separated when their ship goes down at sea. Both sets of twins eventually arrive at the same town, causing much confusion to the local population. The play begins with the question of whether someone should be jailed or believed. You'll have to see it yourself to see the ending. There are signed performances nationwide. Watch our diary for further details. Do you remember our recent coverage of the excellent workshop for deaf and hard of hearing people from the English Touring Opera? Here's your chance to join in if you live near Buxton Opera House. It's on the 21st of November from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. with a signed performance of Don Giovanni and a signed evening performance. The workshop and evening performance cost £5. Contact Gillian Barker by post at W121 Westminster Business Square, Durham Street, London, SE11 5JH, or phone 071 820 1131. That's 071 820 1131. Sorry, that's voice only. They should have a minicom, but they are. Now here's the diary with details of performances for you. Deaf Owl's next film features Paul Scott explaining how he feels about oppression through a signed poem.
Work's really getting me down. When am I going to make my break? When's my career going to take off? It's driving me mad. Rowing out across the lake, I pause to watch the swans as they glide by. My eye attracted by one of the throng, preening his beautiful plumage in the looking glass of the lake. Suddenly startled, the swan scans the shoreline nervously. Curious, I turn to see two hunters striding along the bank, guns clasped against their chests. I gaze on helpless as the swan fixes me with imploring eye. We are both caught. In desperation, the bird clawing the water takes to the wing. I watch his head dip and strain, his wings beat. He takes off, higher he soars, still higher, as he circles triumphantly above. Vexed by the swan's bold climb, the hunter fixes his prey in his sights and fires. With feathers faltering and floundering, the swan tumbles and felled slaps the glassy skein. And will my career take off, only to be cruelly brought down? I'm late for work. So true. Next week on Sign On, we will have Newswatch with Tessa DePledge and Paul Redfern. Join us at the same time next Saturday. Goodbye.